Manufacturing is one of Japan's strengths, but the country has few natural resources. One common pattern is for Japanese companies to import raw materials and then process them to make finished products, which are sold domestically or exported. The motor vehicle industry is one of the most successful industries in Japan. Motor vehicle companies like Toyota, Lexus, Honda, Nissan, Infiniti, and Subaru are very popular around the world. Here is some spots of centers of iron and steel industry in Japan. Sumitomo Metal Industries Limited Company was a steel manufacturer based in Osaka, Japan, until it merged with Nippon Steel in 2012 to form Nippon Steel and Sumitomo Metal Corporation, the third largest steel manufacturer in the world as of 2015. This is the photo of Sumitomo Metal Industries Limited Company's Kashima Steel Works stands in Kashima City, Ibaraka Prefecture, Japan. Explanatory displays at the Higashida Daiichi Blast Furnace.
Another major Japanese industry is consumer electronics, which are manufactured in Japan and then shipped internationally. Japan's three major electronics companies, Sharp, Panasonic, and Sony, are all world-recognized corporations. Over the past few years, however, these previous industry leaders have been overtaken by Apple, a United States-based company, and Samsung, which is based in South Korea. Likely the best-known Japanese consumer electronics producer, Sony, primarily produces PlayStation consoles and televisions, as well as a variety of other gadgets. Though it is less commonly known, the more profitable area of its business is producing Hollywood movies and selling music, as well as selling of various types of insurance in Japan, not producing electronics. Over the past decade, Sony has made an approximate $9.07 billion in total operating profit from selling life insurance, $7 billion from its movie and music divisions, while producing films such as The Amazing Spider-Man, and has lost $8.5 billion from producing electronics. This is likely due to competing companies such as Apple offshoring most of their production to low-cost countries such as China, whereas Japanese electronics companies such as Sony have opted to primarily keep their production within Japan. This massively decreases the profit margins of the Japanese industries, and unless they can come up with a solution, they will continue to fall behind their international competitors. Despite these staggering realities, Japanese electronics executives are reluctant to cut back or cut off their losing electronics branches, and instead focus on their more profitable music, movie, and insurance divisions, which are predicted to continue as industry leaders. It is worthy to note, however, that Sony's PlayStations tend to be the most successful out of all their electronics produced. One more successful electronics company is Nintendo, as it primarily produces gaming consoles and games, such as Mario Kart. Nintendo has avoided much competition with the electronics giants Apple and Samsung. Though it has hit some rough patches in the past, Nintendo has been a relatively stable company ever since the release of the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985. In 2015, Nintendo had sales of approximately $4.61 billion and an operating income of $207 million, largely driven by the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS. More recently, though, the release of the extremely popular mobile game, Pokemon Go, resulted in Nintendo stock more than doubling in value, though it eventually dropped by 17.7% from that increased number. Overall, although there have been dips in success throughout recent history, Japanese industries as a whole have been very successful on a global scale, driven forward by their auto, metal, and consumer electronics industries, and are currently ranked to have the third highest GDP in the world, after the United States and China.